page and then click on Add Groups.
Beryl?
Yes.
May I ask a short question? I think that the MDG we are talking, the Fiori system we are taking a look at now is the test system. I think there will be a new link for the live system, or?
Test system will be the same as the live system, Frank.
Okay.
But for now, yes, we can only enter the test system.
Okay, because I just was wondering, because the link says Vitramine test, so I thought that there will be a new link for live system.
Yes, I also asked it, but for now we don't have any other entry, any other link for the live system. When we are informed about that, we will share it with you also. But for now, your test should be on the test system. So this link is necessary for you, I think.
Okay, but I think we will get an information when this Fiori system is updated with the data for the live system, or not?
Yes, of course.
Because
we also do not know how to enter the live system. Maybe it's not yet set up. I don't know.
Okay, because we are on the normal S4HANA side, we are testing things in live system yet. But on Fiori side, we are now working on the database of the test system. This is correct?
Yes, it's correct.
Yeah, okay, I understand.
Okay, then. We enter a name for this group. We have clicked new group, and then you need to write the name of the group, like favorites, and click on the plus button. Then you need to go to Business Partner Governance on the list on the left and double click on it. We will add the necessary links here, Manage Business Partner Governance and My Change Requests. These will be necessary for your processes. And to go back to the home page, we click on SAP on the top. When you click on close, your additions are done. So we now see what we have added on favorites. It comes on the top, the new group you have added, and the links you have added under this group. For now, these will be enough for our processes, these two links, the screens. You can make your additions like this. We have only shown you the necessary links for business partner, but if you also use other entries on on Fiori, you can also set up your screen like this. Then we can move on to customer process, how we create a new customer in MDG. We go to Manage Business Partner Governance. We have added this to our favorites. Now we click on New button. Here you choose organization, because group will not be used in a new system, and person is necessary for employees. So your choices will be on organization for the customer and vendor, and also for delivery address. We choose the necessary business partner type. For now, we choose create customer out of Turkey. We enter a description here. This is the area where we write why we want to create this customer, why this request is for. Then the title of the customer. Is this a company or a person? And the name of the company. The red flag ones are, these areas are mandatory. You see the red stars on the left. If we do not fill these areas, we cannot complete the process. Now we move on to the address details. We make these choices randomly, as you can understand. You can choose your appropriate option for the customer, which one is correct for your customer. Here we write the telephone number and email address. When you open this page, when you come to this screen, some of you can see an overview like this. This can be closed. In the following slides, we close this part. For now, there are many things written below. This is an overview. You can close it. So now we are entering the sales data under ERP customer. Then we move on to sales area to choose the sales organization and distribution channel. And we click on new. We choose the sales organization here. You can either write the options on the filter side, or also you can enter it by yourself. Now we will fill delivery and payment terms. And this is the tax classification part. When you click on done, you go to the screen before this one. You go back actually to the first screen. So we do not use any other button to go back. We only click on done buttons to move to the previous page. Here we will fill company code for customer. For which company do you want to create this customer? And we click on done again. And one more time we click on done. And now we are on the first page. If we want to enter bank account, we will click on new here. For the bank details, the bank detail ID is important. You need to enter the 2 characters of the currency. For euro, we enter E and U, and then 01. If we want to add another bank detail for another euro account, then you need to enter EU02. But if you want to create a bank detail for USD, then you enter US01. You need to fill this area like this. This part is important. And you can fill the other necessary bank details below. We use this check button frequently because it shows if there is any missing data or incorrect data to you. You can click on it anytime you like, but when you complete your data entries, we advise you to click on check first and to see if you have any red flagged errors or not. If you do not have any red flagged errors, you can submit your request. You can see no errors found above. So if you are done, you can click on submit. Here above you will see the request number. This means that you have requested to create a new customer with this request number, and the request is forwarded to the next step for approval. It's not yet created in the system. After this part, we move on to the approval part. For approvals, you need to go to My Change Requests. This request, for example, is forwarded to Finance Department because there is bank detail information, so Finance need to approve it. Here you choose to be processed by me in order to approve the requests. If you want to check your own requests on the same screen, you choose created by me. Then for finance team, you need to click on the request number. We go to ERP customer by the pencil to make additions and go to the sales areas. Here there is a mandatory field. The system starts with 7. The yellow flagged informations above are not errors, they are just for information. So this does not prevent you to move on with the request. Again, we click on check. It's optional to click on check. If you do not have any other missing or incorrect information, you can move on. This time click on approve. This is also not a red flagged error. This is just for information. If you are okay with your data, you can click on yes. Bengisu, can you please pause here? Since this is an export customer, the requests go to ECOM approval. But for Vitra Bad and Vitra UK customers, there is no ECOM approval process. The process ends with finance approval. But since we have added the export sales organization to the customer, this one goes to ECOM for approval. After ECOM approval, the request is completely approved and the customer number is created. In order to see the status of your request and the customer number created in the system, from the My Change Request menu, you choose Created by Me.
Who will give the approvals for my request by Vitrabart? Me, my colleague, management?
For finance,
Yeah.
Deniz, I think. I can check the roles after the training, but in the tests, I think Deniz approved.
Okay, question is what is after the tests, because Dennis have not so much time and we make some changes and create new debitors, customers.
Actually, Deniz is informed about this. If only the request includes bank details, then it goes to Deniz approval in finance. If there is no bank detail in the customer, then when you submit, it is already approved with no other approval process. Deniz is also approved, informed, about this.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Here you can see that the status of the customer is final check approved. This means that the process is over, done, complete, and the customer is created in both MDG and S4. In order to see the customer number, customer ID, we move on to the screen below. The numbers are automatically determined by the system. Here you can see the customer ID created in the system. This is the presentation for customer creation and approval. If you have questions, you can ask, or we can move on to delivery address creation. Here on the same page, we choose this time create delivery address out of Turkey. We enter the description for delivery address. Not the name, but why we create this request. And here on name 1, you enter the name of the delivery address. Actually, the screens are similar. Only mandatory fields change according to customer type and business partner type. We enter the sales information under ERP customer. In order to do this, we click on new, as we did in customer. Here you see there are less mandatory fields for delivery address. To enter sales organization and distribution channel, we click on new. and choose the sales organization here. The system gives the business partner ID number in the last step after the final approval. So here we gather the information but do not create the customer in the system. This is the creation process for delivery address. The approval processes are similar. We can also show you the creation process for vendor. Here we choose create supplier. But we choose this only if we create a supplier. If we have a customer beforehand and if we want to change it to a supplier, then we make a change on the customer, not create a new supplier. But if the supplier does not exist in the system as a customer, then we create it under new supplier. We will also show how we change a customer to a supplier. Actually, not change a customer to supplier, but add a supplier role to the customer. We will also show it to you in the following presentation. This time we go to ERP vendors to add purchasing organization information. It is under ERP vendor. Here we add a purchasing organization to this vendor. Here we add company code to this vendor, for which company we create this vendor. Once we are done, we click on Done button. We again click on Check button to see if we have any missing or incorrect information. Then we click on Submit to send the request to the next approval. And that's the vendor creation process. So we can move on to change master data. Here on the same page, we go to Manage Business Partner. The same page we created the customer. We also make the change on the same page, but this time we do not click on New. We write the business partner ID, which is already created in the system on this place, and then click on Enter or the search button here. You see the customer below. You need to click on the name of the customer in blue. Then on the coming page you need to click on Edit and start the change request on this customer. Again, we enter a description why we want to start the change request for this customer. For example, if we want to add a contact person to this customer, here we click on Create. If this contact person does not exist in the system, when we click on Create, it is both created and also linked to this customer. If there is an already created person, contact person, then we click on New here. Now we are creating a contact person and at the same time linking it to the customer. We always choose G001 here for the grouping. And these areas are not mandatory. You can fill them according to your request. Name, function, phone number, address, etc. You can choose a department for this contact person, and after all the necessary details, you can click on Done. If we want to add a supplier role to this customer, which I mentioned previously, then you go to ERP customer and click on new. And click on purchasing organizations if you want to add a purchasing organization to this customer. If you want to make a change on the sales area, then we go to ERP customer with the pencil to edit it. One of the most common changes is adding a new delivery address to the customer. We also want to show you this change. Under the sales areas, you need to click on pencil again and enter the related partner role here. You enter the partner role and also the new delivery address ID. The delivery address sales organization and the customer sales organization should be coherent with each other. If it's for export, the customer is for export, then the shipment address must be for export sales organization. These are some examples of how we can make changes on the customer. When your changes are complete, then you can click on Submit. Then your request is forwarded to the next step for approval. This is the customer or vendor change request. Do you have any questions until now?
By the way, can you please share the links so we can try ourselves as well?
Of course, after the training, we will share with you the documents and the record, and you can try to enter the link.
Will it be possible in future to work with templates?
Which templates?
In the past, we choose another customer from hierarchy and choose the fields which was in it, like a special group.
Eileen, do you ask the creation process by reference